So we believe that representation matters in mentoring. And most of us have heard the phrase, you can't be what you can't see. And you're part of a coding club that's supporting Zumwalt Middle School in Southern Dallas, where most of the students are Black and Hispanic. So I think it's really great that you can mentor in that school and they can see someone who looks like them, who works in technology and is successful. Why do you think it's important for students in Southern Dallas to work with tech mentors who look like them? And how does this speak to your own story about representation?
Oh, well, I think it's very important just because there's just this feeling that you get when you see someone that looks like you. And I've lived in lots of different areas. But when someone tells you, hey, you can do something, and the only thing that you really see everybody doing around you is football. And I didn't want to play football growing up. I really wasn't a football kid. Like I was a baseball kid and I was a science nerd. But anytime that, you saw someone doing something science or they came in to mentor you, they didn't really look like you. And that didn't really stop me per se, because I had, my mother being an educator was like, you can do it, blah,
Mhm.
blah, blah, all these things that, mothers tell you that they believe in you and stuff like that, which was great. And I thank my mom for all of that. But it does make a difference sometimes, because even in technology, when I get, have started a new position, and it's kind of like the first day of school, you kind of looking around like, hey, who looks like me, and you're like, oh, there's some people, and you talk to them, and you're like, okay, it makes you feel more comfortable. But it's such a big field, and it's just really good, because it makes you feel like you can do it, because someone's there. And it's important, I feel like, to have people of all different diversities in all different levels of a company, from leadership all the way down to whatever the entry level position is, because it makes everybody feel good. And that's one thing I love about the world and where we're going now. Like, companies are now starting to be more inclusive, and we're starting to see
Mhm.
more diversity on all levels across the board. And it really does make me feel more comfortable. It really does make me relate more to the company, because I can be who I am as a Black man, but I can also be who I am as a nerd who loves comic books, and not feel like I'm going to be judged, or that's going to be something that's going to come up, because everybody around here is just
Mhm.
being who they are. And I think that's also important for kids, to see, like, I can be myself, whoever I am as myself, and not be, necessarily defined as a color or a gender, but
Mhm.
I can just be me, and the world will accept me. So I think it's great, to work with, you know, all of them. And then,
Mhm.
we have such a diverse group of people that work with the kids as well. And I think it's probably so powerful for them.
Yeah.
And how that relates to my situation, like, kind of like I alluded to earlier, like, anytime I would do, like, my mother would take me to community colleges, like the DCCD colleges, for
Mhm.
computer programs in the summer and stuff like that. And, like, everybody in there was white, and nobody, was Black. And that didn't stop me still. But then one day she found a school where there was a Black lady, and she was teaching computer skills to kids. And, like, the majority of the kids in there was Black. And it was just a feeling. It's not that I was like, yeah, all the Black, but it's just a feeling of comfort. And I think you could even,
Mhm.
go to science, like, birds of a feather flock together. Like, you just feel
Mhm.
better hanging out with a bunch of, you know, geese. If you're a goose, like, you don't want to go hang out with the
Mhm.
ducks. Like, they're cool, but, like, I'm a goose. Like, I want to hang out with other
Yeah.
geese. So, and it makes you feel like you can be part of that pond. So, I think it's important, and just
Yeah.
very important.
Yeah. I agree. And I appreciate you sharing that.